Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with a very anticipated video. It is the season. 'Tis the season of Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and top 10 lists. This is the first one of two I'm going to do. I'm only doing two. I did make it top 10. Last year it was top 5, but I was only doing this for a couple months at that time. I have been doing it for over a year. And honestly, this was a freaking fantastic year for knives. So narrowing it down to 5 for each of my two categories was just nigh impossible. So this is the top 10 budget knives of 2018. I'm going to list them in no particular order whatsoever, not in a ranking, but I am going to pick a best one of 2018 at the end. So I'm not totally copping out. I did expand the list, but I am going to pick a best of 2018. And then later in the month, probably I'm thinking Christmas Day, I'm going to put out the video for the top 10 knives of 2018 that with no budget restrictions, just because there's one or two more coming this coming week that I need to spend some more time with that I think are in with a shot to maybe make the list. So I want to get my hands on these. As far as the budget ones go, looking at my review schedule going out for the rest of the month, there's nothing I foresee making the list. So there we go. All right, here are the rules. Here are how I chose these. The rules are, I even printed them out. Look at me being all profesh. Around $50 or less, somewhere in that neighborhood is what I call budget. Must have been released in 2018. They have to be new knives or dramatically revised knives. Must have been something I spent enough time with to review. So odds are, if you are upset because your favorite knife didn't make this and you start to type, oh, you didn't pick the blah, 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 I probably just didn't get my hands on one, and that's probably why it's not on there. These are, I can only put on what I experience. Also, not as applicable on this one, but it's probably more applicable on the overall list for the year for the non-budget knives. No exclusives or limited runs. These videos live forever. They get a ton of views. I want to only include stuff that you can theoretically still be buying 2-3 years from now. So that is why they are not going to be on here. Now, also, another little caveat I didn't put on here, and this one isn't set in stone. That's why I didn't set in print. I didn't print it on here. Trying to keep them to one knife per manufacturer. That's the same way I do my end of the year awards for my bicycle website. I actually will contact manufacturers sometimes, say which one do you want on the list. I didn't with this, but I may do that in future years. But I just think that's the best one. I just let a company put their best foot forward and their best entry, and instead of having it be, a top 10 list with 3 from one company, 3 from another, and a couple and ones and twosies from everywhere else. That's kind of boring. So I tried to keep it just one from each manufacturer. And honestly, in this particular case, wasn't that hard. I don't think that anybody really got pushed out that would have stood a chance anyway. So here we go. And again, all just my opinion. Before you go, all just my opinion. So let's just start out with the first one, since we're already 3 minutes in of explanation. First up, the Kaiser Mini Sheepdog. I called this, when I reviewed it, the most fun knife that I had reviewed of 2018. That still stands. I just love it. It's silly, but yet functional. I carry it a ton. The action on it is just so much fun. It's super smooth, very fall shutty. It's just kind of a ridiculous knife, but in a fantastic way. And as I said, it's still useful. I really like it. It comes in other colors. The blue, I go back and forth whether or not I'm going to get the black one or whether I'm going to stick with the blue. Obviously, with my my lack of ambition, I'm probably just going to have the blue forever. But very, very cool knife. And they go for $52. So right in that around 50 or lower. Higher end of that, but still. Next up, what do we have? We have the Kershaw Atmos. Kershaw made a lot of changes this year. They were kind of inactive with the ZT line. Everything was kind of derivative. But with Kershaw, they did a whole lot. They went kind of got rid of the speed safe. I mean, it's still in a lot of legacy models, but this was the first one. I think it was the first one in order that came out with these new KVT ball bearings in the Kershaw for the Chinese ones, and very great Sienkiewicz design, super smooth action, and so light. It's just a ridiculously light, easy to carry knife. $31.95. Yes, it is 8CR13 MOV, but Kershaw does a pretty good job with that. I've actually used this a fair bit. I carried a fair bit. It doesn't get a lot of heavy use or anything, but it's held up okay. Yeah, it's not great, but it's not the worst in the world. Awesome deep carry pocket clip, and it's just gorgeous. And now you can get it in more colors too. That's a recent addition over the last month. You can get it in blue and green and maybe tan, I think too. I don't remember. But it's just a really cool looking knife, and it's so cool. It spawned another one. I actually have it in my pocket today. Is actually what I'm carrying today, the ZT-0470, which is larger, but in a lot of ways a fancy pants version of this. So awesome knife from Kershaw. I think this was an easy choice for Kershaw's nomination for this year. Next up, we have the SIVB Backlash. SIVB is a division of WE. They came out like a house of fire in the last, only like 2 months. They have 3 models in this $42.50 range, which is what this one costs with the 9CR18 MOV steel. And then they have a couple more in like the $68 range with VG10 and titanium hardware and ceramic bearings and that kind of stuff. This is on steel bearings, 9CR18 MOV. The Backlash is definitely my favorite of the 4250 ones. The other two are just... I don't know. The Praxis is really freaking nice. The other one, name escapes me. I should have looked that up before I did this, but it didn't strike me at all. This one, the Backlash is, the Praxis is pretty good, but the Backlash is it's a really good EDC size, super slicey, hollow grind. And the 9CR18 MOV, I think, when this first came out, a lot of us said, well, we don't know a lot about that steel. There hasn't been a whole lot of knives made. Let's see. We were kind of in a wait and see with it. We've waited and we've seen, and it's a good steel. Guys much smarter than me, like Stasa 23's channel, and Cedric and Ada, Pete from Cedric Ada, have tested it and basically said it's as good as VG10. So yeah, I think it's acquitted itself. We know it's a good steel now. This, I used the hell out of it. I have had to touch it up a few times, and it works great. So. It's easy to sharpen and holds an edge a completely acceptable amount of time. Next up, we have the Bestech Paladin. This is, in a lot of ways, your typical Chinese D2 ball bearing flipper. But there's something about the Paladin that I think it was the best of that genre for this year. I used to have a scimitar, a Bestech scimitar. It had a very Persian-looking blade. I liked that a lot, but this I like infinitely more. Just something about the look of it. The G10 is just really nicely done. Again, it does come in lots of colors and different DLC blade combos and stuff like that. It's very comfortable in the hand. Looks great. The D2 is really good quality. Jimping in all the right places. It's just a fantastic knife, and it's got that great Bestech action, which is just really good. Really like it. And $52, so not bad at all. And I would say, honestly, of all the Bestechs I reviewed this year, including one of the more expensive ones that I actually own and carry quite a bit, the Bestech, I think I have it over here somewhere, yeah. The Bestech Engine, even though this is a more expensive fancy pants one that I own and carry, I would still say the Paladin's probably my favorite Bestech of 2018. And they came out with a lot this year. Bestech was also going at it this year. But my favorite Bestech and my favorite and makes my list of favorite budget knives of 2018. Next up, I couldn't believe when I started doing research for this that this came out in 2018. Again, it's been such a great year for budget knives that I totally forgot that this barely made it. It came out in January of this year. The Ontario Rat Model 2 in D2 steel. I'm showing you the cheaper version, which is $38.95. There's a more expensive one that comes in carbon fiber, which is really just FRN with a carbon fiber, thin carbon fiber layer over it. But and it comes in different colors in this. I like this coyote brown color, but it also comes in black and tan, and I think there's even a pink one. They comes in a bunch of different colors. But it's that great Ontario Rat model too that we all loved, and now it comes in D2 steel, which is very, very good. Very good upgrade. There's some kind of magic about the Ontario Rat models, not even the 2 and the larger one, the 1. They just have such an amazingly snappy action on them for being on bronze washers and just being a thumb stud deployment. Man, they're snappy. All of them. I have 3, and I've owned more than that. I've owned, God Christ almighty, 6 probably. But yeah, I just love the action on these. And it's a very comfortable knife, very usable knife. Just a great, easy going, simple drop point blade shape. I like that. You're going to see that in kind of a theme here. There's a whole lot of pretty simple blade shapes in this because that's kind of a thing that I like. Next up, we have one that I was not at all interested in, but honestly, I kind of got sick of seeing everybody rave about it, other reviewers and stuff, and I was buying a bunch of stuff from my wholesaler, and they had come in, then they'd gone out, and I'd missed on the first batch, and I had no intention of getting one, but I just threw it in the cart to kind of fill out the cart sort of thing, as we all often do. And it is the CRKT Caligo, TJ Schwartz design, and I really, really like it. It's a really good knife. Aluminum handles, kind of reminds me a lot of the, in that way, in a lot of ways, of the Benchmade 940, really. Roughly the same kind of size, the aluminum handles you get in the base 940. Yes, again, it is HCR, but ball bearing flipper. They are caged bearings, and I just really like the ergonomics. I like the blade shape. It's very thin behind the edge. It's a very good slicer. Again, yeah, HCR, but CRKT is another company. A lot of these big companies that use HCR are fairly decent at heat treating it, so it's not great, but it's still better than you expect. Nice deep carry pocket clip. But the biggest compliment I have for this is for TJ Schwartz and CRKT's design department, because I hate all black knives. Can't stand them. I only own 2. I've got this, and I've got the Cold Steel American Lawman. They're the only 2 I have. Don't like coated blades. Don't like the black on black on black on black. But it looks really good. It's such a good looking knife. I like the little blue accent on the pivot. Just the right amount of pop. It's just a great looking knife, comfortable in the hand, super easy to use, and an awesome action. It really is very good. Great. And I know I don't give CRKT a lot of love, but the Caligo, they did a very good job with. Next up, we have another knife that was full on in the hype machine. Definitely a lot of us went crazy for it, and I kind of thought that maybe my feelings for it would fade, but they haven't. I still really like it. The Honey Badger. It comes in 3 different sizes, ranging from $30 to $35. You can only really get them on Amazon, which is slightly annoying. But very, very just cool design. South African design, made in China. Nice deep carry clip. And what makes this stand out amongst other just your typical HCR $30 knives is the action on these is insanely good. It's so much fun. It's the second funnest knife I've reviewed of 2018, behind the aforementioned Kaiser Mini Sheepdog. It's just so snappy. Falls shut. It's just great. It's so much fun. It comes in other colors than this. This is not the color that I wanted. I would have gotten the black, but I had to take what I could get. I got it from, I believe, Shortcut Reviews. I think is who I got this. I think we traded for it. But the reason why is, unfortunately, with Amazon, if you live in one of, I believe it's about 3 or 4 states, they will not ship you a knife that has a flipper tab, and that is a big downside. And I live in one of those states, which is New York. They don't allow you, if it says flipper in it, they've just decreed that that's illegal, even though it is totally not. It's completely fine to have a flipper tab in New York outside of the city, but they're not allowing it. So I had to kind of go through covert methods to get one, but I'm glad I did. It's a really, really fun knife. I really like it. And it, lends itself to Honey Badger Don't Care jokes, but I've kind of gotten over that. Next up, this is one that I don't have anymore, so I'm going to pull up a picture here from my review on ye old iPad, literally. Ye old iPad. This is the Steel Will Mini Intrigue. I really liked this when I reviewed it. At first, as I said in the review, I didn't get the purpose of this. It's a very slim, kind of elegant, kind of, stabby sort of design. I didn't really totally get it, but once I got it in my hand, I definitely got it. I put this up in a comparison test because this is about, it cost about $42. I put it up against the $75 Spyderco Delica because they really reminded me of each other. Once I got them in hand, the Mini is about the same size as the Delica, and this slaughtered it. I mean, it was, if you are in a place where you can hold the two side by side, I really don't understand why you would buy a Delica over a Mini Intrigue. They're fantastic. D2 steel, bronze washers, but again, really good action. Another thing you're going to see common in this list is I'm a fan of smooth action, really good quality. It's just a really nice knife, and it's $42 versus $75. The only reason I don't have it anymore is I think I kind of want the bigger one. So when I was doing a knife sale a while ago, I let it go, and I also they provided me this one, and I wouldn't have chosen the gray. I'd have gotten the black. So I'm either gonna get a black one in this size or maybe a bigger one. I don't know, but there will be another Intrigue in my collection at some point. I will reintroduce some Intrigue into my collection. I'm so sorry. That was a really bad. It wasn't even a joke. I can't even call it that. Next up, another surprise for this year. This is another knife that Stasa23 texted me. He actually texted me and said, "Dude, you got to try one of these." And again, I was making an order from my wholesaler, and they wholesale these, so I got one, and I'm very glad I have. And you've seen it on here a fair amount. The QSP Parrot. Again, keeping with the theme, simple blade shape, still runs on bronze washers, almost as snappy as the R2D2. Almost as snappy. It's really close. And it's $20. About $20 retail. You can get them on Amazon, but I highly recommend you get them from White Mountain Knives, not only because you can use my discount code, SDWMK, down below, which I put at the bottom of every video, but also because support a real knife retailer. Don't just buy stuff on Amazon if you don't have to. It's nice to support real retailers and keep our hobby going. But anyway, back to the knife. 440C steel. Nothing mind-blowing, but for $20, who's going to freaking complain? Fancy plastic handles, but it's very comfortable in the hand. This is my personal one. I've had 3. This is the one I bought to review. I've kept it. I got another one for a giveaway, and then I got another one and I gave to a friend of mine, and he loves it. He knew I was a knife guy, and it's one of my comedian friends who used to kind of make fun of me about doing this channel. But then, eventually they come around and they come up to me like, "Yeah, I really do kind of want a knife. What should I get?" And I said, "Here, I'm going to get you something." And I got him this. So this was his introductory knife, and he freaking loves it. And now he's looking at Spyderco's. So I mission accomplished. But a very, very cool knife anyway. The QSP Parrot is really nice. I could see myself getting some of these for Christmas presents and things. For $20, really hard to go wrong. And look at the action on it. Again, it's on washers, not on bearings. But if you told me that was bearings, I'd probably believe you. It's pretty good. Now, lastly, and then we will talk extensively about our winner. But lastly, as far as the quote-unquote nominees go, another one that I was really surprised came out this year. It feels like it came out longer ago, but it didn't. But it's one of my favorites. $59. It's pushing the boundaries of budget price, but the Real Steel Metamorph. A knife so nice, I bought it twice. I had a blue one, is what I did the review on, but the blue one was So blue, so bright blue, I swear you could hear it from a distance. That was my thoughts on it. It was really, really blue. So I used it for a giveaway and as an excuse to go buy a gray one. Now it comes in lots of colors. It comes in this gray and the blue and a rose gold that it came out with when it first was released. And now you can also get a black and a green, like an olive green. So coming out in a whole lot. And there is a fancy pants version coming out with titanium and S35VN and stuff. And you can bet your sweet bippy I'll be getting one of those. But I just love a lot about this knife. It's a front flipper. If you are remotely interested in front flippers, this is definitely the one to get to try. It's a pretty easy one to operate. It's super smooth. It runs on roller bearings, which I wish that Real Steel still did that on more stuff. They're kind of getting away from that. I don't know what the titanium version of this is going to run on. But it's ultra smooth and super easy to flip. And it's a perfect gateway drug to the world of front flippers, which are, as everyone says, almost cut myself there, so hot right now. It's just a super cool knife. I really like it. It's in the gray, it's very, and in the rose gold, I would say. It's very gentlemanly looking, and in the black. In the blue, people are going to see it in your pocket. It's really blue. Cameras don't do that blue justice. I swear if you're really quiet right now, you can probably hear a blue Real Steel Metamorph humming. Yeah, that's what that sound was. Awesome knife, though. Very thin. Some people don't like the way the ergonomics. I think it's fine. I really like the ergos on it. Big fan of the Real Steel Metamorph. So, that's it. That's our 10. So, what do we do now? What is the winner? I don't think this is going to be a big surprise, and I don't think I will be the only person to pick this as budget knife of the year for 2018. Up until a couple months ago, it almost certainly would have been the Rat Model 2 and D2. Everybody loves this, the R2D2. Everybody loves it. Up until a couple months ago, it would have been this. But then, a couple months ago, SIVB happened. And we has just blown the doors off the budget market. I don't know how else to describe. I said in the review of this was the first SIVB I reviewed. I actually said, where do we go from here? Because this is so good. It's built in the Wii factory to Wii's tolerances, and Wii builds, $300-$400 knives. They build knives for everybody. Excellent Wii in-house made hardware. Steel ball bearings, but still on ball bearings. Superb action. As I said, the 9CR18 MOV has proven itself. They put VG10 on the higher ones, I think more just for name recognition. I don't think it's really that much better than this. It's just, ergonomics are great. This is my beater. I carry this thing all the time. I use it a lot. It spends a lot of time in my garage, and trust me, if you're a knife, you don't want to spend a lot of time in my garage. I'm not nice to you. And it's held up perfectly fine. Just a fantastic, fantastic knife, and I think my fairly easy choice for budget knife of 2018 is the SIVB Backlash. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope you guys discuss down below. We'll have fun with it. Hopefully I don't get flamed too much. Everybody gets upset about these top 10 videos. Everybody loves them and hates them at the same time. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.